This program is part of the Scene Project's podcast network. The Scene Project features interviews with independent musicians, comedians, and artists from across the Midwest. Become part of our community and support local art wherever you are. Well, welcome into this exciting episode of Real Biz. I am your host, Bubba Starts, and with me today is founder of Pure and Easy Tea and friend of the scene, Carmine Del Sordi. Carmine, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Bubba.
It is absolutely my pleasure, sir. We've been talking for several weeks now. We have formed quite a friendship, and my wife has formed quite an affection for Pure and Easy Tea in that time as well. So really excited to talk about your company, our new partnership coming up, and a lot more to come from us as a friend and partner group. But I wanted to give you a few minutes right off the top of the show here to give us a little bit of your backstory, and then we'll pick it up with all the stuff that's going on now.
Yeah, so thanks. This was a completely new venture for me. I had more than 20 years of corporate experience that spanned from consumer goods, high tech, and biotech, and actually retired from corporate at the age of 50. So I was living life, enjoying retirement, and I became an avid tennis player. And while playing tennis in the Arizona heat, I just burnt out. Nothing was enough nourishment-wise. And everything that I resorted to was just full of sugar, sticky aftertaste, and really made me sick. So water wasn't enough. And I had to find something else. I went back to tea. So during my days in my biotech career, I was drinking a lot of tea in San Francisco. And I'm like, oh, I'll just brew some of my old teas and stay hydrated that way. Well, I reach into the cupboard, pull out a canister. As soon as I open it, the smell was just so off-putting. You could just smell the chemicals. And it's like, wow, this is just unbelievable. The tea's not pure anymore. And that's when I said, you know what? I'm just going to take matters into my own hand and started making my own blends. And it was purely personal. So I started doing that, and it was so good, so nourishing. It just provided everything I needed. And then I'm like, well, I can't be the only one that would appreciate this. And lo and behold, that's how Pure and Easy Tea was formed.
It's quite the story. And isn't that how most problems are solved in the world, is that it kind of it comes from a selfish place, right? We want better for ourselves, but in doing so, we realize that we could be doing better for so many others. And then the passion kind of changes and it becomes a selfless venture at that point.
Exactly. And that's exactly what happened.
Now, Pure and Easy Tea has been around for a few years now, obviously selling like hotcakes on Amazon, but you are looking to grow and more of a direct to the consumer, right? And to build more relationships. I feel like when someone buys from Amazon, they're just buying a product, but they're not buying into the brand necessarily always. Do you feel like that's kind of where, you know, you getting out and wanting to do more podcasts, and how our relationship kind of started was to have an opportunity to form more lasting relationships with your customers?
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, this is the really, really interesting part. Okay. When I created the company 3.5 years ago, I wanted to keep my anonymity, and I did. And like when you look at a company like Nespresso, you don't know the founder or the owners or who they were. You just live by the brand. Wow, it's a really nice brand. And I truly wanted the brand to speak on its own. So I did that. I launched it just as Pure and Easy Tea without me whatsoever. And we did it on Amazon. And I'm like, let the product speak for itself. And sure enough, it did. It started to take off and grew and grew. And then there were requests where people actually wanted to know more about the company, and the success of it was so good. And I realized, I sat down and I thought, I was really contemplating it, but this brand is a culmination of my entire life story and my entire being. And I'm like, why am I staying away from it? And I know you know about my past. And this was one of the things. So in the past, I did my own side hustles. I'm an author of a book in corporate. And, with that, I spoke at colleges. It was just all about me, pumping Carmine, pumping Carmine. And this was the last thing I wanted at this stage of my life and with this brand. Uh, but when I focus on where I am today, living, with purpose, and everything I put into Pure and Easy Tea, it truly is a culmination of my being, from my background in consumer goods to the formulations in biotechnology to building the brand. And, one of the most heartfelt stories about it all is my mother passed away very young. She was only 54 years old. And at that time, I put her on tea, and I really tried to save her and studied nutrition. And I would be combing the internet before the internet, it was Lexis and Nexus databases back then. It wasn't even the internet. I'm reading clinical trials and studies and putting all I have into trying to save her. And, that didn't work out too well, but you always maintain the knowledge. And now, years later, when I'm, trying to take care of my own health, everything came rushing back. All the knowledge with nutrition and all the studying, and everything just folded right in. And so we started the company. Now I wrote myself into the brand. I'm doing more outreach. I'm connecting with some of the customers, telling the story, and it really is. It's just so rewarding and fulfilling on so many levels.
Well, and even when you were in the corporate world, while it may have been about Carmine, it was always, Carmine from this other thing, right? And your persona had been kind of baked into another brand, where now your persona and everything that you are is baked into Pure and Easy Tea. And it would be impossible to tell the story of Pure and Easy without Carmine at least being in the story. You don't have to be the main character, but you can be a very big supporting character of that.
Yes. And it took a while to get here, but we're here now.
Yeah. Well, I have some of the tea here in house. You sent us some of the Soothe, and this is going to be a product that we feature on the podcast a lot, especially when we go out on our tour in March and we're out, and we're not just bringing it with us and featuring it on the program, but we're going to be drinking it on the program. We're going to be giving it to other artists. This tea is absolutely incredible. Not to pump your tires while you're on the show, but we're doing a lot of it on our other shows and programs as well. We're huge fans. And I heard from the UK that they are obviously huge tea drinkers over there. He absolutely loved it. Shout out to our host, AJ of Unsigned Spotlight, who had rave reviews for you already. So you obviously have a great product, but it's not always just a great product that sells. People want to know more, especially in this day and age. They want to know who they're buying from, not just what they're buying.
Yeah, that's true, but it really starts with the quality and having a great product. So it's great to dive deeper, but it's like the products truly are so good. And the reason I'm saying that is because we really don't find it. And I go back to my business background. When I started the company, there's something marketing called Blue Ocean Strategy. And within Blue Ocean Strategy, there's 4 actions framework. And so tea is a completely saturated market. There's a ton of competitors in the space and so on. So how do I dare enter, right? So you're really assessing the market and you're trying to reduce and eliminate those things that are no longer needed or bad and create and raise the stuff that's good. So the market had turned. If you walk into any supermarket and buy tea, you're literally finding tons and tons of cheap teas that are tea dust with flavorings, and usually in pretty bad containers like that contained microplastics. So we eliminated all of that. We're using whole botanicals, real nutritious ingredients that you could bake, brew for an hour, and it's only going to get more depth and flavor and nutrition out of it. Some of our blends have 11 ingredients in them where you're just getting nutrition. So you walk in like a Costco today, you see a wall full of gummies for this, gummies for that. It's like all chemical lab-driven stuff. Ours is direct from nature, masterfully crafted into a blend that looks good, smells good, tastes good, and has purpose. So the products themselves are key. The story, the heart and passion behind it is all really the bonus, and it keeps me going. I mean, I just feel like I'm living with so much purpose because we're putting something so good out there. And, when you think about internally what tea means to me, we live in a very, very noisy world today. And tea literally is a ritual. You sit down, you brew it, and you just have time to pause, take a breath, and reflect. And when you do that, everything that matters most to your life surfaces to the top. And it just reminds you and grounds you. So it's the whole experience around it. And so I'm loving what I do. And it's starting to show, and meeting great people and pursuing great projects. This is all part of it.
Can you talk a little bit about the process of sourcing the ingredients? Because obviously you're not going down to the Whole Foods around the corner and able to do that. Were you going overseas and really looking at the places where they were coming from early on? And I'm interested in the early days of Pure and Easy and really developing your blends from your home kitchen before the company started, and then into starting to produce en masse with the company.
Well, in the very, very early days when I was brewing my own, I was buying ingredients on Amazon because you can buy all the herbs you want fresh. I mean, everything is on Amazon. So I was buying all the herbs I was interested in, and then started my own blending at home. And then we would have taste tests with friends and so on when I decided to make this a business. So it all started from my personal source, and that would be, all on Amazon. Then when I decided to make it a business, I already had a few blends already made. So then it was going and finding the manufacturers. And I have, 3 manufacturers that I work with who are all experts in the game. I mean, unbelievable. And, they're the backbone of who we are.
So was there a lot of trial and error for you early on, or did you, from your time just over the years of being a tea drinker, kind of have blends prepared before, the move to Arizona and really starting to re-access this part of your life?
No, it was all from ground zero. And what I realized is so where I started maybe a little bit wrong, I looked at some of the tea bags on the market, and I didn't realize how much flavorings they were putting in, right? Because you would look at a tea bag and they're saying, okay, well, for a cup, they're using 1.5 grams. of tea to make a cup. If you look at that Soothe, that bag, there's 5 grams in there, right? So 5 grams in each tea bag. So I needed so much more. So you're thinking about 5 grams. And I got it down in some cases to 3.5 because it's really not about the weight. It's about the density of the products and the blend you're making. But it takes at least 3 to 5 grams to get the benefits out of the tea that you're making. So the one thing you'll know from drinking all these teas, they have just incredible flavor, right? So it looks good, it smells good, and then it tastes good, but it's giving you nutrition. And so it was finding that right amount for every blend. So much work goes into the craftsmanship of the blends, right? So that Soothe, I made that for singers. I made it for singers and for immunity, for protecting your voice, for cold and flu season, for all of it. And I don't know if you could see, but you could read some of those ingredients on there. Do you see how many are in there?
How many ingredients do we have on here?
Do you see if you look at the ingredients? But I could tell you just from my head. I mean, I know echinacea, eucalyptus, right? Ginger root, turmeric, chamomile, orange, right? Natural citrus. I mean, all these are just chemicals haven't touched them. They're picked.
There's not one thing on here that I can't pronounce, Carmine.
Right. I mean,
makes me feel a lot better drinking it.
That's what you're putting into your body, right? And so to get the blends right takes a lot of work. It really does.
Well, and not just on the research and development side to craft the brew itself, but then on the manufacturer side to make sure that these blends are consistent. You know, for Soothe, it comes into the bags, but some of these other ones are mixed whole in the bag themselves. So you're getting, you know, there's a lot of science and a lot of care that's taken into the packaging as well, not just in the bags that don't contain, you know, bleached and microplastics and just all the things that you don't even think about. Even if your tea is organic or healthy, they don't say anything about the bags that they put it in, right? So there's just so much care has been taken in each and every cup, and it really comes out not just in the flavor, but in the way that it makes you feel drinking it.
Yes. Yep. And that's what's most important, right? The constant nutrition for the body. And I drink pots in a day. You know, I drink big pots. My refrigerator's full of natural iced teas. So it's just, they're incredible. They really are.
We are getting there. My wife is actually in the process where right now she's still just like trying each one, but eventually she's going to settle on a couple of favorites. She definitely loved the Spa Day, which I know is maybe going off the shelves for a little while here, but she said she'll take everything that you still have left as soon as possible. And she loves that it naturally, you know, for whatever reason, she likes it. It turns blue. Right. You know, it turns a little blue because of the blueberries she likes blue stuff, right? She likes blue drinks. I don't know what it is, but how nice to have something that attains that without having all of the food dyes and everything else that she's using currently.
Well, tell her to put a splash of lemon in it and it'll turn purple. The blue magically turns to purple. But so this is a really good point. When I came first to Amazon, I started with 5 SKUs and I developed about 20. And I had to learn the hard way, right? That Amazon truly is the most competitive marketplace in the world. Who am I that people are just going to come rushing to Pure and Easy Tea, see us, buy all of our products and so on. And it's sad for me that I had to take down so many products from Amazon because you just can't compete with them all. It costs way too much to advertise. We just completed our second full year of business. And really, it was this past December that just pushed us to profitability. So think about that. I started like more than 3.5 years ago, and took 2 years of business of selling product, 2 full years of selling product to just turn profitable.
Yeah, to make
So
a dollar. Yeah.
And then some of the blends, like some of my favorite blends, I can't even sell anymore because the company's not big enough yet where it did take on to the masses and they're buying them all. And that was really sad for me. It's like, wow, the market just doesn't know yet. They just don't know, So one good thing is our biggest seller now proved to be our gift box. And the gift box has 10 different blends in it. And that sold incredibly well over the holiday period. That's what drove us to profitability. And now our company's getting the emails, oh, well, where could I just buy this one? You could have last year. You're a little too late. And now I'm hearing it with the spa day as well. And, with your wife. And yeah, spa day is a great blend, fruity with natural, real freeze-dried pear, unsweetened fruits in it, and great iced tea. It's a great cold brew, great iced tea, but I just can't make it anymore. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll pick up and these SKUs come back.
Well, and let's dip in a little bit on the business side of that, because I don't think a lot of people would understand the manufacturing of these and the levels that you're having to work with and the investment that you're having to make into the manufacturing and the packaging of these to then have them sitting around and take an exorbitant amount of money to not just produce, but now to market those for them to not sell. It's very easy for something to become a total loss.
Right. Oh my God. It really is. And the biggest thing, and you might be aware of this as well, but just the cost to advertise now on social media, it's astronomical. I mean, it became so high that it drove direct to consumer companies back to brick and mortar shops, right? So 10 years ago, you could advertise and market your company so cheaply on Google, Facebook, and so on. The ads went so far. And then they all realized, wow, these companies are making so much money on our platforms. We're going to raise our prices. And their advertising costs increased 8x, 800% they went up, driving all of the profits out of businesses. And so it's very, very hard to advertise on those platforms. Even when I first went to Amazon, the first few months in business, there's a metric you look at, and it's called advertising cost of sales. Okay, so for every sales dollar you take in, how much are you spending in advertising? And when I first started, no one told me, like, okay, here's your products, you're on Amazon. The world's going to come to you now, right? No one told me. But our advertising cost of sales back then were at 110% for the first 3 months. That means if we sold $10,000 worth of goods, we spent $11,000 on Amazon to sell them, right? And so now
doesn't take a math genius to figure out that that's not going to work long term.
Oh, you're not factoring and this is just advertising. You're not factoring in your cost of goods, your bills, everything, right?
So it's like 2 to 1. You're spending almost to sell a product. You're spending twice as much to manufacture and create it than for what the price you could sell it at.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so difficult.
You're liquidating your own product at retail at your highest retail value.
Right. Exactly. So those were the challenges. And now I feel we're at that point. We fulfilled 30,000 orders in those first 2 years. We're growing at 100%. It's nationally accepted. And so now it's about just trying to get more exposure, continuing to let it grow organically. But we're a small business. We're still very small. So just like the artists you're interviewing, right? It's the same type of thing. We're all at the same level, trying to grow, trying to make it in a good way when we're loving what we do. So I love the synergy all around.
Yeah, well, and exactly what you talked about is what we are. You're looking for multipliers now. You know
Right.
what it cost you to just one for one try to digitally market this product and sell on Amazon. And
Mhm.
you know that the margins aren't there without having a loyal fan base there to do it. Now, you can rely a little bit on repeat customers and people,
Mhm.
maybe a subscription program or, a fan club of the tea where people are, the retention of the customer, but also having someone like myself and others, and hopefully more of our artists inside of the scene as ambassadors for the product that gives you a little bit of authority out there without the massive ad spend and to lower that cost of acquiring a new customer substantially.
Yep, but truly it's about a win-win, right? So everything I look for is purpose driven. I have a lot of good intuition and always follow my gut, right? It's a win-win. I mean, you want good people, good ambassadors of the product. You want to reach people and you want to reach it in a pure way, like the tennis world that I'm in love with as well. I mean, I wish I had the funds to just sponsor every tennis event and be there. It's like, oh my God, you see certain things like Red Bull at a tennis event. Are you kidding me? Who could play 5 hours of tennis drinking Red Bull? Your heart would explode, loaded with chemicals, right? We should be the ones, at the event, right? Full of nutrition. So I believe we're on our way and we'll eventually get there. But this is, just a great perk along the way, all around.
Well, and what we're touching on and this relationship that we're forming is actually on a much greater scale, something that's happening across the board in media and influencer economy that we live in now. These
Mhm.
influencers have the attention. So it's now forming relationships with people that don't break the bank, that don't run on a CPM model necessarily, because
Mhm.
downloads and views don't necessarily equal sales. Influence does. And
Right.
that's why I think we have both seen the wins in this. For me, I get access to a product that maybe I can't afford to go out and to buy on the shelves every week, but I get to use this product. And now by telling other people about it, not only do I, retain the product and maybe a little bit of money, but now I have a relationship with a company that we're helping to grow as well. And
Yeah.
over time, as we both grow, maybe there's more support that can come down the line to help us with the events that we want to do. Now, we are not the US Open, right? But we may be able to form these events that get these products in front of maybe a few hundred to begin with and leveling up to a few thousand, and not just being a drink that's available, but being the official drink of the scene projects. And for
Right.
me, that's where I see it. And now for me, I don't have to go to an alcohol company or a Red Bull or one of these
Mhm.
companies that have massive marketing budgets, a Monster Energy, or,
Right.
God forbid, any of these companies that are harming people,
Yep.
albeit sometimes in small ways. It's not the pharmaceutical industry, but
Yeah.
that we can get behind a product that is actually extending people's lives and is making people healthier down to a very cellular biological area. And that's what I love about our relationship and where we go from here.
Yeah. 100%. That's awesome. I see it the same way. Very good.
Carmine, where can everyone find the products online? I have the video queued up here as our outro, the brand video, so people are going to learn a little bit more as well. But a chance for you to kind of plug where other, maybe influencers or other brands that are interested in working with you for their events, they can find you, and I'll let you get out of here.
Yeah, no, I mean, pureandeasytea.com. That's the best place to go. There's an email. You could reach sales@pureandeasytea.com. Everything will sift through me. Register on the website, and yeah, just help wherever you can if you have an interest. It's great.
Fantastic. Well, Carmine, we're going to talk more every day. I'm going to keep you around after the show, and we're going to chat a little bit while I have you as well. But say hi to the wife and dogs for me, and you guys have a great rest of your day.
All right. Thank you. You too, Bubba.
Imagine capturing the raw essence of nature with its infinite color and beauty. Now, envision turning that into something truly transformative. Pure and Easy Tea cultivates the goodness of nature's bounty into fuel for your body. We are what we drink. Pure and Easy Tea, the pure nourishment your body craves.